Hey guys, how we doing today? This is Jessica with AKTHEMUA. Welcome to my podcast today where I post every Tuesday and Wednesday. Now I know I did post Monday, but honestly that is literally because it was just on a whim and I was just talking. It was just a test pilot, but a lot of people seem to like my shit, so I'm going to continue to do this. Even if y'all don't like it, I'm going to still do it because I want to. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to be doing the ACT season finale review. Now, normally when people do reviews, they do the whole season start to finish. But since I got so late in the game, I'm just going to do the finale. I'm going to do the same thing with Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. And then I'm going to do start to ending for Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. So if you guys want to see that, feel free to subscribe. Hit that like button. If you don't like it, it's okay. It won't hurt my feelings. But I will be posting 2 videos today, so look out for the second one. That one will just be a news alert about what's going on in the world. I will be talking about how Elizabeth Warren did say she was going to reward hospitals for making pregnancy safer for Black women, which we are going to get into the topic of that. That's going to be on my next video, so stay tuned. And if you like the act, then keep watching. Well, not watching, but keep listening. So, for those of you who don't know, the act is based off of a true story about Gypsy Rose Blanchard and Dee Dee Blanchard. And basically what was happening is Dee Dee was saying that, her daughter, Gypsy, had all these different diseases. She had cancer. She was not able to hear. She was not able to see. She was mentally challenged, and she would have the mind of a 15-year-old forever. There's an HBO documentary on it. I will put the link in the description below, so feel free to check that out. But this show basically is just the biopic of it. I think that they depicted this show very well. I think that this show is really shedding light. It's such a fascinating case, and I think you guys should really get into it. But this is the show, and I decided to do the season finale because the season finale was kind of sad. Like, it was really just really sad. And we'll get more into the case at the end once I'm done talking about it. Excuse me. Alright, so the show starts off in 1997, Louisiana. It's young Gypsy and her mom laying on the grass. Now Gypsy, being as young as she is, she's saying, I want to go in the house. And her mother's like, no, I want to look at the stars. So they're both just looking at the stars. And her mother is basically saying what they've been saying since the beginning of the show. I have you and you have me. And we have each other. So basically, I can tell, I already knew from those words that we were going to hear it again because we've been hearing it repeatedly throughout the show. But I think in this episode, that's when they really started to get into the words that Dee Dee was saying. So then we cut back to present day, and basically Gypsy is in court. They are talking about the whole case. And they're going to charge Gypsy and Nick with first-degree murder and sentence them to death. And Gypsy pleads not guilty because Gypsy in her mind is thinking, how could I have possibly done it? Because I'm not the one who killed my mother. I love my mother. How could I kill her? But Gypsy didn't realize that it was premeditated and that it was, since you told him to do it, you are guilty by association. No. An accomplice. Sorry about that. Wow. So basically, I think it's really starting to hit Gypsy, that she is not a little girl anymore, and that this is she's in the big house. And I don't know many people, because I would have been scared shitless, honestly. So basically, we cut to the news reporters. The news reporters are outside the courthouse, and Nick and Gypsy are walking together. And Nick tells her, we're like Bonnie and Clyde. And Gypsy's like, well, what happened at the end with Bonnie and Clyde? But before he could answer, they separated them and put them in the, I want to say, it's in a room. I don't know what the room is called. If anybody knows what the room is called, where they put prisoners, not prisoners, but people who are getting sentenced to jail. What that room is called, I want to say it's an interrogation room, but they've already interrogated them. So I don't think it's called an interrogation room. But just let me know in the comments below, because I really want to know what the not what the room is called. So basically the lawyer is telling her, look, you got to get your medical papers, because we don't know what's going on. Like, cause it's kind of like Gypsy's like, so they're not really gonna send me to jail, right? Sending me to death. And the lawyer's like, they can, which is like crazy, because Gypsy really does not think what she's doing is like wrong. And she thinks because she didn't kill her, that Nick killed her, that she is not necessarily in the wrong. And the lawyer is like, that is not how the real world works. And she's like, look, we just need your medical papers to see what's going on. Is there anybody else that has it? Because nobody can find a track of anything. Only person that had it was your mother. And obviously your mother was lying, because you're sitting here walking, breathing, and eating. So they bring up her dad, and Gypsy kind of gets hostile, and she's like, I don't want to talk about my dad. My dad never was there for me. And the lawyer was like, look, the lawyer looked like she could give a shit. She's like, look, I'm just trying to get you from destination A to destination B. I'm trying to get this check. I'm trying to do what I gotta do. So if you could just give me the medical papers, that'd be tight. So basically, Gypsy starts getting, after that, Gypsy starts getting flashbacks of that night. And it's a picture of the sailboat above their bathtub. So it's like kind of like she starts to have fainting spells, because it's getting to her. Like she's having flashbacks of that moment. So basically, next, Gypsy goes sees the jail doctor just to check her out. And she asked the doctor, could you get my medical papers? And the doctor is saying, I'm not in charge of that. You got to do that. And so basically, the doctor is telling her that's not how it works. So basically, Gypsy, the doctor removes her feeding tube, which is kind of gross. Like, Gypsy was like, and Gypsy wanted to keep it. And I was like, girl, do not keep that. So basically, the doctor is saying you were like one of the most healthiest people I have ever seen, which I thought was funny that they would write that line in the show, because that's like basically indicating like Gypsy was a very healthy girl. There was nothing wrong with her. So that was basically like I thought that was like a very smart line to put. You were the healthiest person I've ever seen, even though her mother was making it seem like she just needed a bubble. So after that, the doctor takes out a tube, and Gypsy's really sad in jail. Like, Gypsy's eating by herself, and Gypsy really doesn't have anybody at the moment. Yeah, Gypsy's starting to realize that she has nobody, and basically what's happening is Gypsy's starting to realize that she's getting a taste of the real world, because her mother hid her from so much and had her thinking like life was like a Disney princess kind of way, and the world's like, that's not how it works. It's like, you're 23 and this is just not how it's gonna work. So basically the next thing that happens is it's like a line, they go in prison, like where they go through the other prison, which is they basically go through the male prison to get to their prison. I think that's how it was going, and they were all in a line in handcuffs, and Nick sees Gypsy and he runs to the fence. And Nick is like, I forgot to tell you what happens with Bonnie and Clyde. And Gypsy's like, what? They die. They die together. Gypsy looking like, sis, I don't want to die. Like, Gypsy's like, I don't want to die. And I think that's really what sinks into Gypsy's head. Like, I don't want to die, but they're trying. Like, girl, Gypsy was sitting here like, I cannot do this. So basically the next thing that happened, Gypsy gets to make a phone call, and she makes a phone call to Lacey. Now Lacey's just kind of like shook by all of it, and you can tell in her face that it was kind of like, okay, this is not like what's going on. She's like, could you always walk in? Gypsy's like, I mean, I can always walk, and she's basically just telling her, it wasn't me. And like, despite the speculation of the media, it wasn't me. And Lacey's like, sis, like, you look dumb. You look like a dum-dum. Like, and Gypsy's like, do you think you could visit me? And she's like, no, I can't visit you. Like, I'll think about it. Like, I know that's what she wanted to say. Like, I can't visit you because what you've done was so heinous that I can't. That what Gypsy did was so heinous that, Lacey couldn't really look at her like that. So, basically, Gypsy feels really by herself and feels really abandoned. So, after she gets off the phone with Lacey, she calls her father. And she calls him and says, look, I know we haven't talked in a long time. And then it cuts to break. And then so when we come back, there was a garage sale for Dee Dee and Gypsy's stuff. And Kate and Lacey are across the street, and everybody's kind of bashing them. They're talking about the fact that they feel like they were scammed, they feel like they were bamboozled, the whole shebang-a-bang. And Kate's the most pissed because I feel like Kate saw it from the beginning, but she didn't say anything because she thought that they were, but all they were saying about Gypsy was true. So Lacey's like, are you mad because you couldn't figure it out? Or are you mad? Why are you really mad? So Kate is extremely pissed. She is angry. She's like, they jugged us all. I want back my blender because they were selling Dee Dee and Gypsy's stuff. Well, they were moving out Dee Dee and Gypsy's stuff, and apparently they stole Kate's blender. I know that's unimportant, but still. So then Lacey proceeds to tell Kate that Gypsy did call her and told her everything, and Kate is appalled. Kate is angry, and Kate really doesn't know what to feel. So after that scene, Gypsy does receive a visitor from prison, and she thinks that it is Lacey, but in reality, it is her father. Now, I do think the actor they got for her father was spot on because he had the accent right, and that small little scene was all that we needed. I thought they were going to do more with the father. I thought they were going to put the stepmom or the dad in there at all, but I like what they did. They put a little smidge of it. So, anyway, it was her father, and she doesn't look happy to see him. She says, you abandoned me, you didn't love me. At least I had a parent that loved me. And he was basically telling her he was 17 and the mother was 26. So basically she was running things. And she was keeping him from Gypsy. So he showed Gypsy a couple pictures. And he showed her her medical papers. And basically what the medical papers were saying was, this girl is fine. I don't know where the mom is getting this information, but this girl is perfectly fine. So when they're looking through the pictures and they're looking through it all, they see that her dad was always there, and what he was saying was true, that Dee Dee kept on moving around so that Gypsy could not be in contact with her father. So then it gets really emotional because her father shows her the picture of the flag when she was at the Special Olympics, which, might I just say, that is a disadvantage. Dee Dee really got away with this. The fact that she got away with a girl in a hole. We'll get into that at the end, but that is just insane to me, that the fact that she got away with this like she did. So anyway, Gypsy gets back to the courtroom. And what her lawyer is basically saying, that she is a victim of abuse and that what she has went through is manipulation, and she had no idea, and all that jazz. So Nick is sitting across from her, and they're saying Nick has life, but Gypsy has 10 years, which I don't think that's fair. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, because I genuinely do not think that's fair about this whole situation, the fact that Gypsy got off. But if you think about it, Nick was a victim too, because Nick was autistic and Nick had multiple personality disorders, so he was not in his right mind either. So it's like, yeah, Gypsy was a victim, but so was Nick in this, because he genuinely thought that he was saving Gypsy. But we're going to get more into that in the end. So basically, We get back to the scene with Lacey and Kate in their house. And Lacey is feeling a little bit sad because she feels like this is all her fault. Because had she not introduced Gypsy to Christian Mingle, they would not be in this debauchery. But this debauchery was going to happen anyway. That's just what was going to happen. So anyway, Gypsy calls her from jail and Lacey does not pick up, which is really sad. Kate is like, tells Lacey maybe you should go see her, and I think Lacey is just done with the whole situation. So anyway, Kate goes to go see Gypsy, and Gypsy looks really sad and really just worn down, like really worn down, like sad. Like my girl is capital S, sad. So Kate basically tells her Lacey's not coming. And, you know, she's trying to get down to the bottom of what all was happening. And Gypsy was like, you know, I always wanted a mother like you, which I don't think Gypsy really meant that. I think Gypsy was just saying that because it was nice to see a familiar face. And so Kate was like, I can't be your mom. Like, you're in the real world now. Like, the real world is taking Gypsy and eating her up. Because it's starting to really get to Gypsy that Gypsy really doesn't have anybody in her corner and no one is seeing where she was coming from on this. So we flash back to the night that it all happened. And it was such a sad scene. The fact that I think it would have been too much if they would have shown Dee Dee getting murdered. It would have been too much. I think the thought of just not seeing it happen is all that we need. We don't need to see it, because I think it was just too horrid and too grim for this show. And basically we do a flashback to when Gypsy had her ears covered and was looking at the sailboat. Not the sailboat, the lighthouse. Why did I say a sailboat? The picture above their tub. And it was just like, Gypsy could not believe any of this was real. And then when Nick came in, she was scared and petrified. Like, I'm telling you, Gypsy, I think there was a little bit of regret in Gypsy's choices. I feel like she did regret it after. I genuinely believe it. And they were getting ready. She called a cab. Well, first they had sex, and I think that's when Gypsy was like, yeah, I think I made a mistake, because homeboy pushed 2 times and done. Girl, if I was Gypsy, I would have been like, girl, what did I just do? I feel like that's when Gypsy really said, yeah, this is not the life for me. So basically they got dressed and they went in a cab, and I think there was a little smirk on Gypsy's face because Gypsy was really realizing that she was free from this whole situation and that she finally could live the life that she'd been wanting to live. And they get in the cab, and after that it flashbacks to present day where Gypsy is in her cell and she is laying her shoulder on Dee Dee. And that is how this whole show ends. And I can just say this was a really good show. Like, a very good show. I cannot complain. I think, personally, that whole ordeal with Gypsy, I mean, there was nothing really Gypsy could do. And I have talked to a lot of people, and some people are saying, 2 wrongs don't make a right. Yeah, her mom was abusive, but there was other things she could have done, and there was really nothing that Gypsy could have done because her mom made her sign a guardian papers, and her they were saying that her mental capacity was like she could only think above the age of 16. No, 16, 10. I think it was 10 or 16. Someone let me know in the comments below, but I believe that she genuinely was being abused and felt like there was no way out. And I think there's a part of me that thinks that Gypsy was kind of being very villainous. You know what I'm saying? Because you knew you could walk the whole time and you knew what your mama was doing. And yeah, what your mama doing what your mom was doing to you was fucked up, but at the same time, I felt like they would have believed her. She would have just got out that chair. I do. I genuinely believe that if she walked up there and said, "Hey, I can walk," I think the police would have believed her. Just her walking would have been proof that what her mom has been saying is bull. Like, but I think she would have gotten more trouble. Actually, you know what? I think she would have gotten more trouble if she just got up and walked, because they would have been like, okay, well, you knew what your mom was doing. Why didn't you say something? Okay, I can kind of see where this is such a complex case, because there's so many, yeah, she knew she could walk, but at the same time, she was being abused. Why didn't she just walk? Because the police wouldn't have believed her. And then they probably would have tried to get Gypsy, because at the same time, you knew you could walk. So what's the tea? I don't think Nick should be serving jail time, because Nick did not know. He was not mentally stable to comprehend what was going on. Basically, Nick was just there to do the job that Gypsy could not do. Now, for me, personally, I don't think Nick should be in jail. Nick suffers from too many... he has autism, and he has multiple personality disorder. These things are not things that classify just someone who is genuinely a murderer. I believe that he's someone who's genuinely not in their right mind. I don't think he knew what he was really doing, because he thought he was saving Gypsy from her mom. Because that's what Gypsy was telling him. You're saving me from my mom. And it's not really like, he wasn't really saving her. So I think neither one of them should be in jail. I think that this girl's whole childhood was taken, and nobody even thinks about that. And I think if Dee Dee was still alive, I think she would have killed Gypsy. Like, that's just the truth, because she put her on these super pills that were like for seizures, and this anxiety medication that was up to here. The dosage was high. So for me, I think about it, and I'm just like, that could have killed Gypsy. Like, it would have had her to the point where Gypsy was not able to function. So I think Dee Dee would have killed Gypsy before Gypsy would have killed Dee Dee. I think one of them were going to end up dead some way or somehow. And I know that sounds heinous, and I know it sounds fucked up, but that's just how this situation was going to end. Because either Dee Dee was going to kill Gypsy, or Gypsy was going to kill Dee Dee. Or Dee Dee was just going to die of natural causes, because she did have diabetes, and Dee Dee was not taking care of herself. So that could have been a plan too. But I guess Gypsy was like, time's of the essence, and I'm sick of this bitch. Let's get rid of her. So, I can kind of see where Gypsy was going on this. I heard they are making a petition to get Gypsy out of jail, and I hope she's getting out of jail soon. I hope they make a petition for Nick, because I don't necessarily think he needs to be in there. I think he needs to be in a psych ward, because I don't think he needs to be there for life. Life is pushing it, especially for someone who is mentally unstable. I don't know why they didn't do a psych evaluation on him. They just assumed they did this to be malicious. They weren't. This was an abuse case, and this was someone who was not mentally stable. So I think that they probably need to do, what's it called? A retrial? I don't know. Do something over again. And I heard also that Gypsy is getting married, and that Gypsy is getting her cosmetology degree. For those who did not watch the show, she did enjoy makeup, and she did enjoy hair. And in case y'all didn't realize, Gypsy's wigs used to be lay, honey. So there's good in that. And she says that jail is better than what she had on at home. So I guess that's like a plus for Gypsy. It's sad to hear, but it is a plus for Gypsy. And I'm hoping that everything turns out all right. I will keep you guys updated with this Gypsy situation, because I'm hoping she does get out of prison. It's kind of like, where's Kim Kardashian when you need her? But I hope you guys did enjoy this review. Make sure you follow my accounts. They're going to be in the description below. Like and subscribe. Make sure to leave a comment. Comment what you think about Gypsy's situation and comment with how you felt about the act. Did you think that Joey King portrayed it right? Just let me know. You guys have a great night and enjoy your day.